This is the video for section 10.1 and we're looking at circles. First we're going to say that this point right here is the center. This line that goes through the center and ends at the edge of the circle is called the diameter. From the center to the edge of the circle is called a radius. And this is called a chord. And for a chord, all we need is it to end at the circle. The beginning and the end are at the circle. So that means that a diameter is also a chord, but it's a special chord, and that's why we call it diameter. If it goes through the center, then it's a diameter. Let's take a look inside. To name a circle, all you have to say is the letter of its center, which is A. In your homework assignment, it has a circle with a little dot inside of it, and this is just notation that says the circle centered at A. But we don't need that, we just need the capital letter to name the circle. Radii is just plural for radius, so we're looking for all the radius. Remember, the radius are named from the center to the edge of the circle, which means that AB is a radius, AC, AD, AE, and AF. It is okay to name a radius FA. You can go from the edge to the center as long as you always go from a center to the edge of the circle. So the names in reverse would work as well. The diameter is the line that goes through the center and touches at the end of the circle. So this is the segment BE. It is a chord because it touches the ends of the circles, and it is a diameter because it touches the center. You could also name it BEB. That would have been okay as well. And then we have the other one, which is CF. I keep telling you, a diameter is a chord, so we can copy these back down. BE and CF. Diameters are a type of chord. But there's also another chord over here that is the segment GC. That segment notation matters because they do stop at the circles. Now we're looking for BE. BE is 16 right here, and they want to know AE. BE is the whole distance, BE, and they want to know AE. So what we do is just divide by 2. That means that AE is equal to 8. Now they tell me AF is 5, and they want to know AD. Well, since it's a circle, all radius are equal. That means that AD is equal to 5 as well. AE is 7, and they want to know AF. So if we add another one over here, that would give you the whole distance of the diameter. All diameters are equal. So I'm going to say 7 times 2 gives me 14, and that is the distance of CF. Let me say that again. We got a radius. We're going to multiply by 2, and then all diameters are equal to each other. Does GC, this chord right here, equal CF? No. Well, hopefully you can tell that it does not because the line looks shorter, but the reason that they're not going to be equal is because this goes through the center and this one does not. Let's look at the bottom part right here. It says finding circumference. We have the 2 formulas to find circumference. When given the diameter, we just multiply by pi. So the circumference of this picture is pi times 3. which I would just like for you to write 3 pi. I don't need the decimal approximation unless your instructions say specifically to give me a decimal approximation. C is equal to 2 pi, and then the radius is 3 here. What we do is just multiply these two numbers together. 6 pi is the answer I would like for this class. I do not need the decimal approximation. I would like for you to write the unit of measure, but I tend to forget, so you do your best. So it's either diameter times pi or 2r, which is 2 radiuses, making a diameter. All right, let's take a look. And we're going to separate the notes like this. Here we're looking at if we have a diameter. So remember, the formula was the pi times diameter. This one says pi times 6, which we're going to leave as just 6 pi. I don't need the decimal approximation, but we do need it in centimeters. How about if they give you the circumference? Well, remember, circumference is just pi d, or times the diameter, and that's supposed to equal to 100. To solve for d, we're going to divide by pi. On your homework assignment, I would like for you to leave your answer as 100 divided by pi. I don't need that decimal approximation, but I do need the units of measure, and it's in inches. Let me say that again. If it asks you for the diameter, you're going to set the circumference equal to pi d. That's equal to 50. To solve for d, you're going to divide by pi to both sides. D is equal to 50 divided by pi. And this is also in inches. Remember, circumference is just the distance over here, going all the way around. So that's why that unit of measure matters. How about if they give you the radius? Remember, this is 2 pi r. This means 2 pi times 5 for this example. You multiply these two numbers together, giving you 10 pi, and that's all I need. It is in centimeters. I do not need that decimal approximation. So remember, the circumference given is 2 pi r. So we're going to write this 2 pi r is equal to 25. I'm going to divide this time by 2 pi. That cancels that out. I'm left with r, which is the radius, and 25 divided by 2 pi. I know that I've said this a gazillion times in this section, but I don't need the decimal approximation unless your instructions specifically say so. So the circumference is 2 pi r is equal to 314. We're going to divide by 2 pi to both sides to cancel the 2's, cancel the pi's. 2 pi. R is equal to, but these are multiples of 2, so that means I can simplify that. 314 divided by 2 gives you a 157 divided by pi. Everything in the homework is pretty self-explanatory, except this problems like number 8 and number 9, which I'll just make sure that you understand what it says. It says the diameter of the circle centered at L and the circle centered at M. That's what that means. That means that this radius, this whole thing, is 20. And this radius is 13. They also tell us that QR is 4 right here. How would you get these answers? You divide by 2 to get the radius, and then you subtract 4 to get what's left and get the answer LQ. On the ones that have a triangle, what we're going to do is use the Pythagorean Theorem. A squared plus B squared is equal to C squared, where this would be your C squared and also your diameter. So I recommend that you label it D. So when you solve for D, you know that that's your diameter. The question does say to find the circumference, so make sure that you plug it in for the circumference formula.